and Amazon Fire Stick, that's right. And I have with me right now Lisa Barnett, who is the Akashic Records expert. The Akashic Records are a place in the universe where everything there is to know, to have known in the past and know in the future, are kept. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you, Scott.
And thank you for sharing. I know you're going to share the secrets to how to access these records, or some of them, because I know we only have a few minutes. But
right.
So the Akashic Records is what, an invisible place out there somewhere where there's filing drawers where all the information is? My past lives and everything else?
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, that sounds funny, but people imagine the Akashic Records in so many different ways. It could be a library, right? It could be filing cabinets. It could be, some people see one big book, but honestly, it is stored in the information arm of Source. And so it is really part of the quantum field, and there is no time and space. So everything you've ever been or done since you individuated as a soul until this moment and beyond is all recorded in your personal Akashic Records, your book, your library, right, your filing cabinet, whatever. And so what I would say is that this information gives you so much assistance and help. So when you can actually understand what you came to do and what you planned,
or even why you do the things you do that maybe you don't want to be doing.
Right, that too, right? Our karmic patterns,
right.
We get really stuck in all sorts of different things, whether it's addictive behaviors,
yes.
Or crazy different kind of love relationship patterns. There's so much information in your records about why you might be doing that, and it has to do with your past lives. It has to do with what you've come to learn about as a soul, because of course we come here to learn and grow. It's one big
right.
school. And I'm not a big fan of the word, but I do believe that there is no place like it in the quantum field, in all the galaxies.
So I have a friend who got an Akashic reading, and it was so right on for them. They were so happy to have gotten it. So it sounds like it makes sense. If you believe that there's an intelligence out there in the universe, that's how we're created, that wasn't random, why wouldn't there be this? And why wouldn't we be able to access it just enough to help us? Not to let us know everything that's going to happen in the future, I suppose, but things that are helpful to us. Is that what usually comes up?
Right, absolutely. So, because before you embody, your soul seriously spends time writing out a plan. This is what I want to learn. This is the people I'm going to be with. This is what I'm going to do. These are my gifts and talents I want to share with humanity. All of this information. So all about your relationships. It even has to do very often with your abundance of all kinds, whether it's money or health or love. We really make that plan to grow. So the truth is that we don't plan to make life easy. We don't come here to have a rest life, even though
I think we came here to get stronger through the challenges, to earn those places, because it feels very good to have earned certain things,
right?
To have broken through those barriers.
Absolutely. And then I would say that so many of us share our gifts. We share what we learn. We start to teach, whether we're writing a book or we're just, sharing our wisdom with our friends or our family, or with our children, or if we actually go out and start to, teach about the talents that we have, like here we are at this big expo, right? And there's so many people with so many gifts and talents, and they are sharing them with humanity, right? They are being of service. To really help us move into a higher dimension, to move into the fifth dimension, to wake up. And so that's so much about why we come here anytime. But right now, at this time in history, of course, as we realize that we're shifting timelines, we are raising our physical, energetic vibration, as well as doing that as a whole group, a whole planet doing that, and we're doing it along with them. So when you can understand what you were thinking before you embodied, in a way that gives you kind of like, you know, the secret key to how to work through some of the issues that show up.
That's what it is, yeah.
What those talents are that you want to share. And I do readings for clients all the time, and often the thing that they realize is that they've always wanted to write a book. And when I say, the record keeper suggests that you write a book about that, they were like, really? I've always wanted to do that but didn't think I could.
Right.
Like they're waiting for permission. And really they're getting permission from their Akashic record keepers, from their soul. And then they say, okay, now I can go do that. Like,
okay, so I would like to know what some results people have gotten from that, aside from the writing the book. But also you mentioned the Akashic record keepers, that there are beings or entities that we are going to interact with.
right,
And you teach people how to do that, is that correct?
correct.
Okay, who are these people up there? I say up there, it's the quantum field is just everywhere.
Right, everywhere. So these are souls who have not come to Earth. They haven't had their own journey, but they have chosen to be our guides in the Akashic Records, to be the librarians of that big library that you've created through all these different lifetimes. And so when you ask a question in the Akashic Records and get an answer, it's really coming from these beautiful beings of light who are there to help, to teach you, to share with you, to guide you. And so everybody has their very own Akashic record, and a whole big group of Akashic record keepers, and they've never been human, and that means they have no judgment.
Sure.
You know, they're not angels, they're none of, you know, they're kind of nothing else but that. So it's kind of this beautiful, very pure energy, and this is really their service to each of us. And then they sometimes go on and do embody, and they do come to a point where they're like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
I figured out what those people are doing down there. I'm going to go take a life. I'm going to go start to travel the galaxies. I'm going to try the human thing out. And so they may do that. They don't always. They may do that, but only at that one point in time when they're just pure, new,
Sure.
clear souls. So it's really beautiful, because pure source energy, pure unconditional love, no judgment ever, information, wisdom, support, guidance. That's totally what they're doing for us.
So people can get readings from you, and they can also learn how to do this themselves through your online classes, is that right?
Yes, absolutely. So I love to teach people, because so many years ago when the record keeper said, this is, you know, a very powerful empowerment tool, and it's time to bring it back to humanity. Humanity is ready for it now. The energy was pulled away about 1,000 years ago because we misused it in the Dark Ages.
Okay.
And we're now ready. And right here at this very pivotal 2020 point, I'm hoping that, you know, thousands and millions of people will really embrace this and learn to access their own Akashic records, so they can read and understand their soul plan,
Right.
what they came to do, and so that they can go forward with much greater ease and understanding, and move out of all of those places of feeling like a victim because they've had a challenging life. All of those kind of things are important as we move forward, so that we can raise our vibration and make things better for ourselves, for community,
Yep.
for the world. So,
And what's the name of your book?
The Infinite Wisdom of the Akashic Records.
Okay.
And
that's available at your website, akashicknowing.com. akashicknowing.com. And they can find out about your online classes. You have some videos, some free videos on there.
right? All at akashickknowing.com. There's always a free gift for you, so you can download a beautiful guided visualization or meditation to go into the Akashic Records, or, you know, I change it up. You can always go back and get a new one if you already have one, because, you know, I like to help people get more intuitive and to create greater empathy and compassion with each other. So many different kind of meditations I teach, as well as my online class, either live or as a home study course.
And you also have a show on the Expansion Network.
And I do.
So that's on Roku or Amazon Fire Stick. They can find it there.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you for coming here and sharing this with us. And I know people are going to look up akashicknowing.com to get their own reading or to find out about your classes, so they can just access the information themselves.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Scott.